Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
Oh my God!
Welcome to Chatham Tapping Fishers.
This is real, buddy.
This is real.
Retz,
Yeah.
I think this is more than you can handle.
It's all right. People can hear us. For those of you who haven't been here on a Tuesday night, we are the Permanent Relegation Podcast.
You're in for a treat.
You are in for a real treat tonight.
Isn't that right, Jay?
This is going to be a mess.
You got to fight your way out.
Jay knows what's up.
Jay's over there getting a facial from the steam. Yeah, look at that. Nice.
But, we are the Permanent Relegation Podcast. You can check us out on Twitter at PR Podcast Show.
We are the Permanent Relegation Show.
Oh yeah, we're going to change that up.
We're done.
We're
done with
how
the
about
podcast.
just we're just
Just Permanent Relegation.
All right.
Done. Official.
The scarves that you guys are selling to
Don't
this
worry.
podcast.
Don't worry. That's why we
Don't
just
worry
did a
about
small
that.
batch.
Yeah.
We knew we were
going
going.
to cut them out of
No,
the...
we'll just get
Don't
new
worry about
ones.
it. Hey, you guys have one.
True.
You
Yeah.
want
My car.
We didn't
geez.
rebrand.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
So now you got to have another one when we get another one.
I mean, we
Damn
don't
it! You
But,
sell subscriptions.
We are here every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. broadcasting live via YouTube through the internets with our little camera up here. Everybody, make sure you tip your.
Twat us.
Twit.
Yeah.
You twit.
I was going with
Yeah.
Twitter and tip, but tip your wait staff and bartender. I think it's just one tonight.
Look,
Jay's an
we
amazing
already
man.
chased 2 away.
Beautiful
That's
man.
it.
It's all right.
That's good.
It's okay. They're not in our demo.
They left as
but-
fast as people left Christian following him on Twitter when he posted his picture
man.
of his
Just
I mean,
handlebars.
yeah.
It's no different than when Slaughterhouse has a TV party at Union Jack. Like, literally, people, the second we start singing or saying anything,
Just
they're
start
gone.
gone.
And we just keep singing. We're not making any
What
friends.
happens?
We're going to Chumley's.
Yeah.
But of course, we are here every other Tuesday in beautiful Fishers, Indiana.
The 96 percenters. That's what I
The
hear.
Great White North.
Thank you, Mark from Chatham.
Oh, why would you?
This, by the way, our last show at Chatham Tapping Fishers.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh.
Yeah,
It's
there we
a
go.
milestone.
Dude, he was willing to get in front of the camera
I
for
know.
that one.
That
That
never
means
happens.
you really.
We've
did
said
it now.
worse stuff with him in the house.
You're terrible.
We've had worse stuff.
You're
in
the
the house.
worst.
Anyway, a couple of particulars to get out of the way before we introduce our guests.
Do it.
Want to thank Global Scarves for producing these beautiful scarves that you see around the bar behind us and overhanging on the Sun King logo over there. We do have a batch of them here for sale for $20 each if you guys want to grab one. I know you do because you want to be the cool kids on a Saturday and Sunday morning to watch Premier League here at Chatham Tapping Fishers. Segue. Every Saturday and Sunday, Saturday starting at 7:30 till noon, and Sundays 8:30 till noon. They serve breakfast here for the EPL games. But of course, this Saturday and Sunday, it's an international break.
Thank God.
So Friday, come here and watch the U.S. friendly. Tomorrow night, you have the Indy 11 game as well. And then what do you got here?
No, go ahead.
Friday, you have Euro qualifying, Germany versus Poland. And then Friday, you have the Portugal versus France with the Portugal jersey up here from Mr.
It's basically a
Cristobal.
one-man team.
And
Just
then
kidding. There's some good of them.
U.S. Versus Peru. And then Saturday, more Euro qualifying. So Dan Marino apparently is playing England.
Yeah.
Dan Marino by himself. It's actually it's pronounced Dan Marino.
It's
and
just-
it's a new country.
It's literally
about 2 years old.
It's just Dan Marino
I know.
by himself.
Playing
I'd watch
playing
one.
England.
On a soccer ball, there's no laces, so he doesn't have
No,
to
I
have the
caught
laces
it.
out.
I just
right.
wanted to read it.
Finkel. Right.
Russia versus Sweden. And then Spain versus Slovakia.
So what you tell me is Ada
Those are
Hegerberg is
great
not playing.
No, it's a men's team. It's the men's team.
Okay, that's right.
He's Chris. For those of you new to the show, Chris is a big Ada Hegerberg fan.
Yeah, we all know.
Like
this.
ridiculous.
Mhm.
Little weird. But
Sure, that's super weird.
thanks to Global Scarves. Thanks to Chatham Tapping Fishers for having us. Go to our website.
I believe that would just be permanentrelegation.com. The last I
Looking
checked.
good, sir. You can buy a scarf from the website as well, which people have apparently
Yes,
done,
and
which
I
is
want to give
amazing.
yes. And speaking of the global scars and that, I want to thank Kevin Miller, most recent purchase there. We had a small shipping snafu actually, so you will have your yeah, dude. I don't even want to explain. I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain what happened there. But anyways, you should have it here within the next few days. So thank you for your patience on that. It will be to you, kind sir. And thank you for your kind words. I don't know what show you were watching, Kevin, but everything you said totally legit.
Yeah.
You're awesome. As
Probably-
well as all of our other fans.
That's true.
Like what? Like the chupacabras. What happened
Yes,
to them?
I don't know. I think they're still out there. Chupacabras are still out there.
Are you guys talking about St. Louis?
No.
Because that's the fighting chupacabra. It's the St. Louis.
Yeah,
No.
man. They're totally one of our big fans.
The
St. Louis chupacabras.
I mean,
Absolutely.
no, that's
Well,
the
honestly,
thing.
the Chupacabras have a family big enough to field half a soccer team.
That's very true. I do.
But
Katie and Luis.
I am Andy.
Chris.
Chris is over here, and then across the table from us, we have
Two guys from downtown. I'm sorry.
all
remotely
like for the
true.
last hour. That's all I've heard
dude.
from you. It's just that.
Well, you're in the
great.
bathroom. He was playing it over
I
the
was.
microphone.
God, that's hot.
Yeah, it's all right.
It was super. hot.
It was a
One
super
Andrew
sensual
Retz.
bathroom.
Oh,
Andrew Retz is here in
Hello.
a lovely shade of forest green.
Oh, yeah, four screen
it's
rovers.
like a hunter.
And then-
Yeah.
Okay. And then in his St. Pauli jersey, we have one Peter Evans.
Yep.
Now, just to kind of we talked about it a little bit before the show. Your guys' role in the supporters group for Indy 11, for those who don't know.
I'm the secretary of the board of directors of the Brickyard Battalion.
What does that
And what
mean?
else?
Actually, yeah. Hold on.
What does that
does the
mean?
secretary
You said a lot
do?
of words.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know- you know what-
I got voted in behind my back, number one.
It wasn't behind his back. He was present.
All right, I was present.
drunk.
Was that
but he
like
was
Josh
present.
Mason
Was
getting voted
that
in?
the same show where we were at?
Exactly.
Yeah,
When we were
was.
broadcasting and we
That's
made
what
Josh
we-
Mason
no,
president?
No. This is a different one. This was a very drunk Peter Evans.
Oh
screaming.
yeah,
That
And,
was the
we
same
should
one.
talk about
No,
that.
it was not. I guarantee you, it was not.
with you
It
and
was
Dunmore?
not- It was not a fun time. No, that.
Oh.
No, this was one at flat 12. Like,
Oh,
God.
that one.
Incredible.
It
I
was
really need
incredible.
to stop yelling at Tom Dunmore. That's really a thing.
You realize
we're
you
gonna,
two-
we're
yeah,
going to talk about that.
yeah,
Well,
we
I
have
want you to hold that thought because
We
we're
have
going
a
to talk about it.
philosophy.
But anyway, secretary of what?
The board of directors.
The board of directors for the Brickyard Battalion. And what else?
And the president of American Outlaws Indianapolis.
Okay,
Now,
nice.
that's the part I'm really that's super cool to me.
We'll get back to it. We'll get
Man,
back to
don't you stop me on my flow.
Okay,
cut you
go ahead.
off.
Go ahead.
No, please. It's the Andy show.
I wanted to have them.
Bye.
Proceed.
Peter, your role in the supporters group of Indy 11.
I am the director of game day operations for Brickyard Battalion. And I'm a Slaughterhouse 19 Triumvir, and then I guess I'm the VP of AOND. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, well then, that's something new. Your business card's starting to fill out.
My business card is full enough.
Okay.
It's full of shit, but it's full.
Well, there's that.
These are all things you stack on your resume that they go, I don't even know what any of this is. These names you throw out, like they could just be fake organizations or they could be super cool. I don't know. Why don't you hire me and find out? There you go. Bam.
They're just shadow organizations that
That I
help-
filter all my illegal cash from my drug dealings.
Yeah, they
Right.
help me achieve my end goals. So
Right.
What are your end goals?
I can't tell you.
It's
Oh.
community domination. World is a little too far off, but community domination.
That sounds like Peter, actually.
right. Changing the world one community at a time.
So you're American Outlaws. Let's circle back around.
Oh, can I ask that now? All
Yes.
Yes, you're
you
permitted
You have
now.
clearance.
In accordance with the scriptures.
right, Mr. Retz. So obviously, American Outlaws, official supporter group for the USMNT, the USWT. It's just so
Teenage
weird. Isn't that
alphabet
so
is
weird? No. It's just weird because it's like one flows and then like the other one you start rolling through like for whatever reason it just kind of like it's weird. Anyways,
W's a
so how did
three-syllable
you?
letter. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you just flip that other letter and then it gets wonky.
If you put the W in front of it, it's almost like a TV station.
WNT here with Andrew Retz. All right, so how did you get involved?
WNT7, we're on your side.
Okay, so
Yes. So basically, I just emailed Kale, the former president, one day and asked if he needed help. It's not very a romantic story, but he was doing it all by himself. The chapter wasn't very big. This would have been about 3 years ago now.
Okay.
So I just helped out for a while, and then he was about ready to graduate from college, so I stepped in and took over his job, and it's been my job ever since, basically.
So what do you do in that job role? What are the things you're
He just
responsible for?
retweets. Just that's all.
I do a lot of retweeting and favoriting.
Good, but that's integral
You
to
know.
the growth of the brand.
I create a lot of Facebook events,
You build the brand.
build
Keep
some
building that
brands.
brand.
I go into business for myself.
Did you invite 5 friends who then in turn would invite 5 friends and then
Oh God.
So on.
Very
It was a
pyramid
pyramid
scheming.
scheme. It makes perfect sense now.
American Outlaws is a pyramid scheme.
it's the Amway
This is
of
the most
soccer world
unsuccessful pyramid scheme of all time.
because everybody's broke.
Unprofitable pyramid scheme.
Thank you.
So okay, so besides favoriting and retweeting and tweeting,
Ah.
what's the point?
That's a really good question.
So
Yeah.
here's a question
No,
to follow up with that though.
okay.
Is if somebody, so say maybe one of your roles to kind of lead you into the answer. If somebody from around
So
Indianapolis,
Andrew, what's the point of the American Outlaw Indie
Yeah,
president?
Go ahead.
well, if somebody
We're the same
from
guy.
around Indianapolis
Uh-huh.
would like to go to a U.S. men's national,
Yes.
then no, then
Yes.
they can contact Mr. Retz here or like the Facebook page, and he has events out for like travel parties to go to like qualifying games and friendlies and the such.
So could I do that on my own? Do I need a Mr.
That
Retz to
I
do
don't,
that?
I don't know. You'll have to ask the real Andrew Retz.
Oh, okay. So back to you, Mr. Retz. On the original question, why would you want to get involved with something like that and to become a president? What is it? Job description aside of doing tweeting and retweeting.
well, first off, somebody has to do it, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. You're right.
Like
Somebody.
this right here.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know that
it's-
anybody needs to
Actually,
do this.
nobody needs to do this or listen to it. To be honest. Thanks.
Or do they?
That's becoming a common theme.
Buy a
Sure.
scarf.
Right. Oh my God, Andy. All right.
Yeah. So it's just something I enjoy. I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to games. I'm going to watch parties at the Union Jack or here. So it's basically not much work above that. I'm sending out a few emails, Facebook posts, tweets. So Facebook is American Outlaws Indianapolis, and then our Twitter is at AO_Indy, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You have won a scarf.
Congratulations for keeping up with the trend of guests who have no idea what their Twitter handles are.
Right. At least we didn't have to look it up for you, which is really, really good. So how have you seen it membership wise? I mean, are you seeing any type of growth? Are you needing help with this? Is there anything we can do?
Yeah, actually, just take it over. It's all you.
No thanks.
Okay.
No, actually, with Indy 11, I've definitely seen interest just skyrocket. So
Really?
it's
Okay.
definitely changed, especially with their hype machine as well. Just helping us promote whatever events we have going on, and them doing their own things. It kind of just brings followers and just members to our cause. So it's been a huge change in the last year and a half now. So
Yeah.
it's been
So,
great.
how did you get into soccer? Like, what's your soccer story, as
Well-
we would like to say?
When you were a wee lad. Tell
I
me.
wasn't that young, but
Okay. Fair enough.
So I studied
Neither was
abroad.
Andy, so that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So I studied abroad in London in 2005. Hated soccer. Wasn't interested at all. Didn't go to a single game. But I mean, everybody watched it. We lived in a hostel at the time, and everybody watched it. So this was the fall of 2005. By the summer of 2006, the World Cup was on, and then I just started watching the World Cup. Got really into the U.S. team, and then just kept watching. And the soccer bug hit me at that point. So
It's kind of weird, like that, how that happens. Like you're there, kind of in like a mecca, if you will, a place to go where, oh man, I could watch literally top end any week that I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be involved in this at all. And then you come back home and you go, no, I'm thinking back to it. Probably missed some pretty cool stuff. But
I missed so many good games. I mean, one of our group trips was going to a game at Fulham, which meant nothing to me at the time, but would have been incredible. And
yeah,
didn't go. So
that's all right. But now,
Look
with,
at Peter's like, what?
now with all the exorbitant amounts of money you have from all your endeavors here as being president, you could just hop on a jet and just fly right back over now, right?
yeah, well, I did actually go in April,
Oh.
but the only reason was that flights from Cincinnati were $350. I still don't know how that worked out, but flew to
You
Ireland.
caught it well.
You had 3 engines, not 4. You just didn't know.
Yeah.
So
I actually flew the plane.
right.
So
you
You're
had
a
to work,
co-pilot.
serve yourself your own stuff. Right. That's good.
yeah, got to go to Newcastle game. That's the second time I've been to St. James's Park, so that was a lot of fun. And then speaking of Forest Green, we went to a Forest Green Rovers game, which is a 5th division English soccer team that are former.
So like
Corby Moore-
NASL, pretty much.
Please tell the story about the jersey. That needs to happen.
Oh yeah, so we found this team because Corby Moore, former Indy 11.
Oh, that's right. There's another guest here. Hold on.
Former Indy 11 star, as he says underneath his breath.
Yeah, he joined them after leaving us. And
originally on loan, of course, because
naturally from Southampton or something like that. So yeah, he went over there, and we're getting on a nice Google and looking through their website, and little did we find out that you could actually sponsor a player's jersey. So for like what, 100?
I think we all pitched in $25.
Yeah, it was like 100 pounds because it was already halfway through the season. We got to sponsor Corby Moore, and we got his jersey for the season.
Which is, I think, going to Union Jack at some point.
Yeah, it's in Eric's bedroom, like all wadded up at the moment.
Saw it yesterday. Jay said Jay said he would frame it and put it up. So I talked to Eric about that this morning, actually.
Okay. Yeah, well, we need to do that. So, so Eric was actually the first to go over there. I think that was like February or March.
And he was in.
Yeah. So the person who sold us this sponsorship package is attractive. So.
Oh, okay. So he was in.
Oh, so he was.
And the best part is they wouldn't let us use Slaughterhouse 19 on the sponsorship, so we had to use like SH19 or something like that. I don't know, because I've also been told by people from England, like, our name would not fly over there. Like, it would not. People would not be okay with that being called.
Is it because it's like, for people who don't know, it's just associated with violence or something like that?
I'm assuming
Slaughterhouse being like,
just like there's multiple groups in the United States that refer to themselves as firms or as ultras and stuff like that. Like, it has a much different connotation over there. But the funny thing is so our sponsorship in their program is literally the Pacers old school logo with the hand on the ball, but it's a soccer ball instead, and it just says SH19 at the bottom. They have no idea what the heck that is. They're just like, oh, that's really cool. I was like,
you're like, good. I hope somebody from the NBA doesn't try to sue. Like that looks very familiar.
If somebody from the NBA gets a program from Forest Green Rovers, I would be shocked.
That would be awesome.
And amazed. I will send one.
Totally worth it.
That's going to have to be a story.
I mean, bring it on, Simon. What are you going to do?
Ooh, call them out.
That's because if it's one person who listens to this show, it's Herb Simon.
Is Murder, She Wrote on? Sorry.
Probably more of a rock.
God, I love Angela Lansbury. She's so good.
So good.
So good.
So Peter.
So hot.
Hi.
Hey. What? Now your
Wait,
role.
when did you get here?
Sorry. Your roles within the supporters group. Kind of give us a rundown of what you do.
Okay, so
we have enough time to go grab about 6 drinks, come back because he's got a long list. So let him go.
Okay, so
go.
Let's start with just in general with BYB. It's game day operations, which encompasses management of all of the capos. I guess I'm the head capo, if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing.
Well, you are now.
I think it's totally a thing. It's a totally thing, but it's kind of a thing now.
Yeah, management of all the capos, just making sure that we have enough. I'm our security liaison during the matches and stuff like that. I head up all of our TIFO building, so that's like a lot of the designing is taken on by either myself or Patrick Cummings, who's done a lot of really interesting things, like the one against Louisville where we had the dead horse in the front yard with the burning cabin that said "My Old Kentucky Home." That was his design. It was beautiful. The last match of the season, he's currently working on the TIFO for that, and it should be incredible. If it, I trust his work. It's going to be amazing. So that, and then making the chant cards, making sure that everything in our section goes smoothly. I walk the section every single time I walk into the stadium before the game starts to make sure there's not anything that is potentially hazardous. And if there is, I point it out immediately.
Let's be honest, the whole section is pretty damn hazardous. Yeah. I mean, like just the fact that no matter how many memos we send out about don't stand on the seats, that happens every week, regardless.
That's not going to change.
Right.
That's a thing.
So it's that nice domino effect as
the
one person falls behind you.
Here's the thing. When you pay that lavish amount of $10 to go in that section, with your $10 is a small but capable chance of death. And that's
I mean-
okay. I'm with that because I
mean-
go, this section is amazing.
I would gladly pay 10 doll hairs to. to your
No, it's 10 to 1 these days. It's 100 doll hairs for $10, Peter.
sure.
You're not keeping up.
By the way, is there any more dangerous position than what myself or Bill Stark is doing?
No, because you're not looking at him and you can just be drilled in the back of the head. Done.
Yeah, that's true.
I keep waiting. I'm going to be real honest. One of my morbid things here is
Is
I
me
wait
getting
for it. No,
drilled.
just want somebody up there just getting drilled. Not that you get hurt,
Well,
but I just want to see it
During the
happen.
Cosmos match, I caught the ball.
Drilled. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that went right over my shoulder, and I caught it. But like,
Just pegged.
Bye, Mark.
bye, sweet baby.
Oh, but, sweet baby Mark. There you go.
Yeah, work it.
Half beard, even Chatham.
I don't have singles. So but that, and then with Slaughterhouse basically running the operation, kind of delegating out things that need to be done, and then with AO Indy, if Retz isn't there, basically just kind of making sure everything runs smoothly.
Hey, what are you doing Friday, by the way?
Oh, are you going to hijack this show like you hijacked our Twitter post?
I know what I'm doing.
What?
I'm painting Tifo.
I've heard of that.
Maybe you're going to do your job on Friday?
Oh,
what are you doing?
My Lord.
I'm going to go watch some high school football.
Yeah, by the way, Retz keeps following around his high school football team.
Yeah, we know. We see it on Twitter.
Yeah, it's insane. That guy also, by the way, is not human.
Yeah. I mean, we have the
That
best
guy's
football
not
player
real.
in the state for my small
It's
little
okay.
high school
We have
town.
the most lavish football facilities in the state. Thank you, Westfield. Thank you, tax money. We have a video board. What the hell do you have a video board
Wait.
for?
You have a video board for high school football?
We have a video board in-game like production staff, and then
That puts you just there with Warren Central 10 years ago.
And then
Oh,
they run out of that sweet inflatable helmet. It's
Got
cool.
him.
It's cool.
Got him.
Well, I'm not even Warren Central, but I mean, you didn't have
Got
just
him.
Jeff George, who had no actual talent, but had a lot of money and was like, hell, I'm just going to give you a ton. I mean, I'm not
He had a
giving
rocket for
them
an
money.
arm.
Yeah, remember? He could throw 70 yards off his back foot into the other team's hands.
Well, yeah, just like Jake
And just
Butler.
get hammered and
I mean,
throw money.
that
around.
was pretty tight. I mean, it takes talent. But
So anyways,
yeah.
you,
I mean,
speaking of, I'm just taking over things here.
yeah, feel free.
So,
Feel free.
This is my show. Feel free.
yes, so Twitter, right?
Yes. I've heard of
So,
it.
Oh, you're still holding on to that?
dude, that was really awkward. Like, you make one mention to a particular company,
So Chris
And
goes
then
to a
they-
restaurant.
and I make a mention to a company and they take it and they send it out talking about building brand. And the next thing I know, there's a personal fucking conversation going on for the next 45 minutes and turning into a faux argument between two people. And I'm like 30 some tweets later where you tagged everybody, including said company. And I go, what? How did we get hijacked
What
this
the hell
badly?
are we talking about?
Talking
Chris-
about last Thursday.
Chris went to a restaurant.
What restaurant?
Yoke. I went
Yoke.
down to Yoke.
Yeah.
Went down to
downtown.
Yoke.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
There
saw
you
that
go.
shit. That shit was tight.
Yeah. So good. So good.
So good.
It is so good. But after 45 tweets later, I'm just being hijacked. I went, and they tagged Yoke and us
Halfway through
the
it.
entire
Halfway through it,
time.
Chris messages me and goes, "What is Retz doing? Hijacking our tweet right now."
He goes, call him out. I said, no, I'm going to wait so I can call you out in public.
Yeah,
well,
that's
thank
true.
you.
No
Yeah,
problem.
so fuck you, Retz.
Yeah. Oh.
Well then,
Hey, I got retweeted from Yoke like 5 times. Just saying.
Neat. You got retweeted by a local business.
No, they're
That's
actually
just-
Chicago.
Yeah, who
They're
gives
not
a shit?
local.
That's international.
Oh,
and
so
they're
they're
actually,
second
and they're
city.
Dallas.
Neat.
Yeah, that's worldwide.
That's fine.
Hey, that's 3 communities.
Oh my
How about
God.
your one community?
oh,
I mean, I'm-
Retz.
I'm
Retz for the win.
internationally known.
Retz
and
for
I'm known
the
to rock a
win.
microphone.
Retz
So-
for the win. Fuck you.
oh, you
No,
got me
oh,
back
got
from
you back.
earlier. That
Love
was
you.
from earlier.
All right.
God, that was so
No,
tight.
no, that's not happening.
You don't love that?
No. All right. So, anyways, so let's move on. So, all right.
So,
So,
I want to know. So you guys can both answer this. How did Slaughterhouse start?
Retz, do you have an answer?
I defer to you on all
okay.
questions. Slaughterhouse.
So,
Right.
Slaughterhouse started because I basically,
yeah, I got you. We're good.
what was that all about?
That's the you got to continue on with Slaughterhouse.
Okay. Okay. Slaughterhouse started basically with the. Is this about my pension for using the F word? Yeah. I asked you before if that was a thing or not a thing, and you said it's not a thing. So I could have easily avoided this from the get-go.
Sorry, he said it. He said it
I
too.
did it. Yeah, I did.
I
it.
just,
He said
I
it
just
too.
want you to know.
He said
I
it
just want
too.
you to know that
They both
I
said it.
asked prior. So
It's on me.
yeah, it is on you.
Oh, got you.
I asked. So let the record show for all time.
So Slaughterhouse.
Objection sustained.
Because I tried to be respectful of this establishment, and you guys said, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Just say whatever you
Those
want."
words never came out of our mouth.
That is exactly what they said verbatim.
No.
I'll throw them under the bus. I don't care.
Oh,
This
No,
sounds
park
like
the bus.
This sounds like somebody
Park the
running
bus.
hardcore
Anyway.
from the question.
Anyway,
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
Okay, Slaughterhouse started. Slaughterhouse started based off the fact that I really
He's joking.
oh, I don't care. But so Slaughterhouse started from the fact that I really enjoyed what was happening over with like St. Pauli. St. Pauli is one of my favorite clubs of all time.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah, I know, right?
You hide it so well.
I know. I'm the
yeah,
best.
you do.
But so what happened is I loved the fact that there was a conscious movement in terms of supporting your club, being incredibly loyal to it and to the community surrounding that club. And then on top of that, committing yourselves to being against homophobia, sexism, racism, and everything that as human beings tries to tear us apart. And that it's not positive. It doesn't go anywhere from there. And so kind of I wanted to mimic that ethos in terms of supporting Indy 11. And I mean, I've loved this city since the first time I was ever here. When I was a little kid, I lived up in the Chicago area in northwestern Indiana, the region, the great region.
The great region.
The great region.
Respect.
Don't get me
That's
started.
true.
That
Yeah.
word is forever tainted, by the way, by American supporters. The word respect is the dumbest thing ever, but that's a different tangent.
It's like on every sign of like every major league though too, and you look at it like La Liga always has that
Oh, no,
too.
that's-
Respect.
Like it's
That's
like on the
different. No,
sleeve.
I'm
That's
talking about like
Respect.
you'll have
No,
you'll
it's in
have
Brazil.
somebody like, hey, you know what? Like, we stole the scarf from this team. Here's all of us with our face masks. Like, yeah, holding the scarf upside down, light on fire. And every comment on like every message board is like, respect. You're like, you guys are.
That's why I stay off message boards.
Yeah, just don't read
That's
the comments.
2015.
Yeah, just don't read the comments. But
That's all I
Being-
go to Imgur for is the comment section.
Yeah,
That's all I
but
want.
the thing is like, I grew up loving this city, and all I want to do is just promote the fact that like I'm proud to be from Indianapolis. I don't want to be anywhere else. I have never had a desire to go anywhere else. And it seemed like this when I was growing up, a lot of people were like, I just want to move away. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that it seems like our generation is finally like embraced the city. And it's like, you know what? No, this is ours. And it's a critical time in our city's history where we are defining the character and the culture of the city that kind of started as a blank slate back in the 80s with in the 70s with Mayor Hudnut. And from there, like, I think that, you know, what we're doing is important because it's starting a culture that, I mean, look at the Boston Red Sox, for example. They had the Royal Rooters back in the like 1910s and stuff like that. Well, that group kind of formed what cheering on the Red Sox would be. And that's, I want to be here so that way, you know, we can love this city and we can love this club. And when we get to a point in the future where generations and generations, I'm dead and gone, no one remembers my name, and that's completely okay with me, that we have a culture that pervaded from something we helped start.
You know, what's funny about this is I feel like I've heard this before when we went over to the
Pretty kitty.
Pretty Kitty.
Pretty kitty.
And they had some drinks. And what's funny is when you hear somebody say something once and you just kind of go, okay, it's a one-off, and they're kind of feeling in the mood and they just want to kind of talk about some stuff.
They get in the zone.
But you can tell when you talk to Peter here that I mean, this is something that he's truly extremely passionate about. And it's funny here because you're exactly right. So it was the 80s with Hudnut and then had Goldsmith, which was awesome. But
Do you know there's a statue of Hudnut downtown, by the way?
Absolutely.
I love that
Yeah.
statue.
It's but you're exactly right. There's a reason why they call it Naptown, and there's a reason why everybody wanted to leave. And we talked about this multiple times that within the last 10 years, there has been massive change. I mean, not just downtown and Broad Ripple area, but even its surrounding community where you have so much. And start with local beer scene and a lot of different diverse restaurants, and it is a city now where I think people go, you know what? Now that I had to move here from another city, It's not like, man, I'm just buying my time till my contract's out and I'm out of here. You go, oh, I guess it's not so bad. I can stay for a little while.
Well, and that's kind of like that's kind of like the undertone of why we even started the podcast in the first place, because we were like, you know, you're a very big foodie and you like all the local stuff, and you know, I'm getting constant messages like, you got to try this place, you got to try that place, this place is awesome, this place sucks. You go.
Don't go there.
And it's you know, I think that's one of the, just like how you said, it's one of the reasons we start something, to express the love that we have for the city. When I mean, I'm from a country town, and my aunt lived in Indy, and every time I came down here, I was
going to the big city.
I was like, yeah, exactly. It was that. I was like, I always want to live in Indy. I want to live in Indy. At some point, I want to live in Indy. And it's that last, like you said, 10 years that really everything kind of exploded. And it's also focusing on our generation too.
Now, I'm sure somebody that maybe that's listening will see this will go, oh, it was before then. It was okay. Sure, we can quabble over the time, the exact time period when Indy started to change. But let's be honest, truly the last decade has been, I would say, exponentially more than any other time.
It's been huge.
Right. And I would even say that last 3 to 4 years has been even more than that. It's crazy how much of a change. You just look around now, every single day, there's a new local place opening up. I will tell you, 5 years ago, outside of going down to Mama Irma's, I could not find any place I could get some of the best Peruvian ceviche. I could not go to some place that had an actual good Cuban sandwich outside of Northside News before they closed. And now you have a place that literally has the best one I've ever had, including LA. Going there, Miami, that's a different story. Sorry, they will always.
Well, it's crazy to think, like, if you look at established cities like Milwaukee or Chicago, like neighbors near us, that they are.
Milwaukee only sells like Polish sausages, right?
But they are what they are.
Yes, they are.
Like they who they are culturally is forever intact. And this city is so pliable and so much, like, anything we do can affect things. Like, it's honestly the best time to be a part of this city's history. And, you know, I mean, you can argue various different things, but
so you go off the rails within 10 minutes.
Now we got shots.
Yeah, and then you
look at Retz's face.
It's not what you think it is.
Yeah, it's probably
way worse.
side butters. Oh, all right, that's yours. Well,
oh God,
it's just like candy, folks.
There's not hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Well, I guess I mowed that.
Cheers.
Actually,
Cheers,
I mowed
fellas.
that
Thanks for coming on.
Probably cost you hundreds of dollars. So it's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
It tasted like birthday cake. That was great. It did. That tasted like birthday cake.
I'm going to take that to work tomorrow, and they're going to be like, have you been in your car drinking? I'll be like, yeah, it's the only way I can get through my day at this place.
And now this might be a touchy subject, and we didn't talk about it a little bit before. And if it's probably one of those things where we can kind of talk about it and kind of can't. But so Slaughterhouse, did it start as a
separatist group,
as a separate entity? Yeah. And then I know that there was a little bit of friction at the beginning between the Brickyard Battalion and Slaughterhouse. And now I will give.
Where is it at now?
Huh?
And where is it at now?
No, and I was just gonna say I'm gonna give you props though. I'll give you props as probably one of the people, if not the person, that kind of kept everything together.
I appreciate that compliment. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
It is true.
From an external person looking in and not knowing enough about either supporter groups. I mean, you know, the show does what we do. Yeah. But it's also, I mean, we're not board members. We're not. I mean, technically, we're not even members, but still.
To be completely honest, like I do what I do. I don't know if it helps or it doesn't help. I just try, and that's all I can do. When it comes to, in terms of keeping things together, I think it's Josh Mason. Josh Mason, without a doubt, if that guy was not here, this would be a completely different situation. And that's why he's the president of BYB. That's why he's doing the things he does. And the guy...
Well, he's kind of president of the BYB because we kind of threw him under the bus at that one meeting and said, you're president now.
Okay, so we forced a few hands, but it's fine. Like, The thing is when it was started as a chapter of BYB.
Right.
That's the honest to God truth.
And did you, when you heard about the team, did you kind of go, okay, we need to start doing the supporters group? And this is like, was it the initial calling where it's like, I got to do this?
I guess so. I'll explain how I got into this,
Right.
and that'll explain everything else. So what happened is that I had followed Brickyard Battalion on Facebook, and so I knew about their stuff. Well,
back when it was Bring Pro Soccer to India or
whatever it was. Well, I see they have a thing with Peter Wilt. I am a huge Chicago Fire fan. I know who Peter Wilt is. I love American soccer history. I needed within every ounce of who I am, I had to meet this guy.
Yeah.
Because I figured, honestly, what this
Peter,
was.
would you like another one?
Yes, please.
All right.
Yep. But what I figured was going to happen is he was going to show up, he was going to talk, I would shake hands, meet the guy, that would be cool for me, done. Little did I know I knocked back beers with this guy like on a decently consistent basis. So, so he walks in the bar, he talks about how somebody who's interested.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody
Have a
who's
great night.
interested, wants to bring a team to town, and they've asked him to consult. And the person that came with me that morning was my friend Thomas, who actually started Slaughterhouse with us. I almost said started Walktail, which is the last name. Started Slaughterhouse with us. By the way, Thomas experienced the nastiest break I have ever seen of an arm. But he described it as nothing but basically liquid and solids inside of a meat package.
All right.
But so
PG-13.
People are eating in here.
Yeah, PG-13 now.
Okay.
So remember we rebooted like 10 minutes ago. Rebooted. All right. So
Fuck that shit.
hey, this is still the attitude era, okay? But that's cold, dog. Okay, so what happens is
I just wanted to get in on it.
Will walks in the bar and sits down next to me. Like,
Wilt walked into a bar?
I know, right? No one's ever heard this story.
did he have a schlaps?
No, he was.
Oh.
The funny thing
They
is, he
didn't
sat
serve
down
it.
next to me, and I honestly didn't know what Will looked like exactly. And he sat down next to me, and he turns and looks at me and goes, "Man, it's a shame they don't have PBR here." And I turned and looked at him. I said, "You're right. It is a shame. PBR is liquid mana, and everyone should have it at all times." It is a shame. I have to deal with whatever the hell I'm drinking. I can't remember what I'm drinking. And from then on, him and I just start talking about beers. I don't know this is Peter Wilt. And he then turns to me and goes, "Oh, my name is Peter, by the way." I go, "Wilt?" He goes, "Yes." I go, "Oh my God. Like, I'm a huge Fire fan. Like, I have so much respect for everything you've done." And he looks at me, he goes, "What's your name?" I go, "Peter." He goes, "Oh, well, that'll be easy to remember." And like, from there on, with the second he announced that he was consulting, I knew that this was probably going to happen, and I turned to Thomas that day and said, "Okay, we had honestly about 6 months prior talked about starting something similar to Brickyard Battalion, but we didn't know Brickyard Battalion existed. So we talked about it, and then we looked online, we saw it was a thing, and we said, oh, okay, someone else has gotten this taken care of. And we went back to watching Collins John attempt to score goals for the Chicago Fire. God, Collins John. But he's
Collins
probably
John.
alive, but whatever. So
He's probably alive, but whatever.
so I mean, he's dead to me. So
Right then.
but whatever. So
Shout out to you, Collins John.
Another
you
person
are.
probably watching the show with Herb Simon.
they're together. They're just on a private jet somewhere.
Watching reruns of Dallas.
Yes.
Cool. Sounds good.
But
It's all right.
So
It's to bed
happens
at
after that
7:30.
Look
is
at this guy's skills.
I end up turn to say, oh, we need to start this now, and talk to a friend of mine who just happens
try
to
this?
know a lot of people in
Hey,
Indianapolis's music
I haven't
community.
told you lately. I love you. Thank you.
And from there on, I was like, okay, like we want to start a supporters group that's based in kind of like punk ethos, where it's like you do everything yourself. It's committed to equality for everybody, et cetera, and also just has a bit of attitude and potentially pretentiousness, because Thomas Wachtell and Peter Evans started the group, so pretension comes high.
You guys are pretentious?
I know, right?
When did that happen?
I know. By the way, Thomas is more pretentious than I am. I assure you
Duh.
of this. But yeah, read his Twitter.
From
feed.
the interactions I've had with him and the interactions I've had with you, you're probably more pretentious.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't
then
follow
you don't
his
know
Twitter
Thomas.
account.
And then you don't know Thomas.
No, I'm dead serious.
Then you don't know yourself.
I just talked to Thomas
Oh,
about wrestling.
You
so that's
didn't
about
know?
it. You better call. Yeah, that's better
Better
call
ask
somebody.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It's getting there.
God, this has gone off the rails. But so from there, we got in contact with a friend a friend of mine, Clark Giles, who is just basically part of the old guard of the hardcore scene in Indy. And from there, we ended up growing from like 10 people in membership to 40 within like 2 days, and just kind of expanded from there. Just made sure that we were always active, trying to do things. When it comes to the sort of friction that we experienced, because that's what happened, is it got to the point where I would honestly say I think the friction started where we kept doing things we thought everyone else was doing things, and we got to when Christian was announced as the first player,
Right.
and it seemed that the only people singing or doing chants or holding two poles or doing anything were members of Slaughterhouse. And from there, it became kind of ugly, and it became a little bit difficult to manage. Did I always make it, difficult to keep the friction from happening? No. But, we kind of, before everything started, collected ourselves and said, you know what, we're all in this together. There's no point in starting a rival faction, because what's the point to this? Like, honestly, I didn't know how many people were going to show up on, the second night. The first night
Right.
you knew it was going to sell. The second night, you don't know how many people are going to show up. And it's like, if there's 5,000 people showing up to games, do we want a group of like 80 people and a group of like 200 people competing against each other? Or do we just want to be together and do this
Right.
for the city and for
For the
the
greater
club?
good, right?
Yeah, and that was kind of the realization we came to. The friction has subsided as time goes on, because with any sort of movement or anything, it'll start to normalize to what is considered to be the norm. That happens with like religious movements and stuff like that. Within 2 generations, it becomes part of the the modern way of thinking, and it loses its original charisma. But for us, it's, we still do our thing. BYB still does their thing. We're part of BYB, but the way I always describe it is Luxembourg. We are Luxembourg. We have things that BYB needs. They have things we need, and it balances out. It works. We kind of run independently, but at the same time, we're all in this together. We're all supporting the same club, and we're all trying to make the city that we absolutely adore better. That's what we're about.